All right, so we're diving into some serious science fiction versus science fact today. You know that iconic mosquito in amber from Jurassic Park? The one they used to get dinosaur DNA?
Oh yeah, classic movie moment, right?
Well, get ready for a reality check, because today we're going to unpack the truth about ancient DNA, whether a dinosaur theme park is even remotely possible, and what Jurassic Park actually got right, based on a whole stack of research we've dug up.
Yeah, that movie really sparked an obsession with ancient DNA, didn't it? Even if the science wasn't quite accurate.
So you're telling me there's no chance of finding dino DNA in fossilized mosquitoes? Like, at all?
Nope, not a chance. DNA breaks down over time. It's kind of like a photograph left out in the sun. It fades.
Oh, okay, I get it.
DNA has a half-life of 521 years, meaning every 521 years, half of the DNA is gone. After about 6.8 million years, it's completely gone, degraded beyond recognition. Dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago.
Wow, so even if John Hammond had a warehouse full of mosquitoes and amber, it wouldn't have mattered. Way past the expiration date.
Exactly. And to put things in perspective, the oldest recovered DNA we have is only about 1.2 million years old. From a mammoth tooth, actually.
Still pretty impressive. But no T-Rex, huh?
No T-Rex, I'm afraid. But, while dinosaurs are out of reach, scientists are making some progress with bringing back other extinct creatures. There's a fascinating project going on at Harvard right now.
Wait, really? What are they doing, looking for, like, ancient blood samples or something?
No, nothing like that. This project is all about gene editing. Essentially, they're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth by splicing mammoth genes with elephant DNA.
Oh, so it wouldn't be like 100% woolly mammoth then, more like a hybrid.
Exactly. They're calling it a mammophant.
A mammophant. That's kind of cool, actually. Can you imagine seeing that in real life? It would be pretty wild.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it? But it also brings up some serious questions, like, should we be bringing back extinct animals? What would that mean for the ecosystem?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, I'd love to see a woolly mammoth roaming around, but not if it's going to, like, mess things up for other animals. So are there other extinct animals scientists are trying to bring back?
Actually, there are quite a few projects in the works. One particularly interesting case is the gastric brooding frog.
Gastric brooding. What's so special about that?
Well, these frogs had a rather unique way of reproducing. The females would actually incubate their young in their stomachs.
In their stomachs. Whoa, that is weird.
Yeah, pretty unusual. But here's the kicker. In 2013, scientists managed to clone embryos of this extinct frog.
Hold on, so are there, like, gastric brooding frogs hopping around right now?
Not exactly. Sadly, the embryos only survived for a few days. But still, it was a huge scientific achievement, wouldn't you say? It shows that de-extinction, at least on a small scale, is within the realm of possibility.
So maybe no Jurassic Park anytime soon, but potentially like a mammoth reserve or a gastric brooding frog sanctuary. Who knows what the future holds?
It's exciting to think about, isn't it? But like we said, we have to consider the potential consequences. Just because we can bring back an extinct animal doesn't mean we should.
Right, like what happened in Jurassic Park. They didn't exactly think things through, and well, it didn't end well.
Exactly. Bringing back a species could have a ripple effect on the whole ecosystem. De-extincting has to be approached carefully and ethically. But let's circle back to Jurassic Park for a minute. It wasn't all bad science, right?
So no dinosaur DNA. Bummer. But it is kind of cool that scientists are actually working on bringing back other extinct animals. Like the woolly mammoth. Makes you wonder what other science fiction from Jurassic Park might have some truth to it.
Well, the movie definitely plays with real scientific concepts, even if they take some liberties. And sometimes they hit on something surprisingly accurate. Remember how in the first movie, all the dinosaurs were female? And then suddenly they start breeding.
Oh yeah, that always seemed a little too convenient. Even for a movie about cloned dinosaurs, they explained it with like some frog DNA that let them switch sexes.
It might sound far-fetched, but it's not entirely made up. Parthenogenesis, which is essentially virgin birth, occurs in some reptiles like Komodo dragons. And while sex changing isn't as common, certain frog species can do it under specific environmental conditions.
Hold on, so some animals really can just have babies on their own, or even switch sexes. That's wild.
It really makes you appreciate how adaptable life can be. Maybe that's why they say life finds a way.
Okay, so no dinosaur DNA, but parthenogenesis and sex-changing frogs get a thumbs up from science. I love these deep dives, always learning something new. What about dinosaur behavior? How did Jurassic Park do on that front?
There's an example where the movie kind of gets it right and wrong at the same time. Remember the scene in Jurassic World where the Indominus Rex takes over the raptor pack?
Oh yeah, that was intense. Like she just asserted her dominance and suddenly they were following her orders.
Right, that scene is playing on the classic alpha concept where the strongest, most aggressive individual leads the pack. But newer research suggests that's a bit of an oversimplification.
Seriously, all those nature shows I watched growing up, were they totally wrong about the whole alpha thing?
Not totally wrong, but definitely presenting an outdated view. It's less like a dictatorship and more like a family unit. The so-called alpha is more like a parent, guiding and protecting the pack, not just bossing them around.
So less survival of the fittest and more mom knows best. That actually makes Owen's bond with the raptors in the movie even more interesting.
Exactly. He raised them from babies, so they imprinted on him as their parent, basically, and then they turn on him for the Indominus Rex. Talk about a betrayal.
Right. Totally heartbreaking. But wait, if pack dynamics are really about those family bonds, wouldn't the raptors have stayed loyal to Owen no matter what?
From a scientific perspective, yeah, it doesn't quite add up. The movie needs that betrayal for the plot, but those raptors should have stuck with Owen if we're going by the latest research.
So Jurassic Park got the alpha thing wrong, but accidentally stumbled onto a more accurate idea of pack behavior with Owen and the raptors.
Exactly. They get the details wrong, but they capture the spirit of how our understanding of animal behavior is evolving.
Fascinating. It makes you wonder how many other things we think we know about the natural world are based on old science. But let's shift gears for a second. Jurassic Park wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon.
Definitely. It got people talking about science, ethics, the possibilities, and the dangers of manipulating nature. I remember when the first movie came out, everyone was buzzing about cloning and genetic engineering.
Yeah, it felt like everyone was suddenly aware of the power and the potential risks of messing with the very building blocks of life.
And those conversations are more relevant than ever, wouldn't you say? With the advances in gene editing and de-extinction, we're getting closer and closer to that world Jurassic Park imagined.
It's both exciting and a little scary, like we're entering this new era of science, but there could be huge consequences if we're not careful.
And that's exactly the cautionary message at the heart of Jurassic Park. Remember what happened when they let ambition and profit override careful planning and ethical considerations.
Yeah. It didn't end well for anyone. It's like the movie saying, hey, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should, especially when messing with nature.
And it's not just dinosaurs anymore. We're facing real-world decisions about bringing back extinct species, gene editing, changing ecosystems. Jurassic Park is a reminder that we have to approach those advancements with both a sense of wonder and a sense of responsibility.
So besides woolly mammoths and those stomach-brooding frogs, are there any other de-extinction projects happening right now?
There are actually quite a few. One that's gotten a lot of attention involves the passenger pigeon. They were once the most abundant bird in North America. Sadly, they were hunted to extinction in the early 20th century.
That's so sad. To think a species that numerous could just vanish.
It's a reminder of the impact we humans can have and the responsibility that comes with it. But that's actually one of the driving forces behind this project. Scientists are hoping to use gene editing to bring this iconic bird back.
So are they, like, searching for passenger pigeon DNA in old nests or something?
Not quite. They're taking a similar approach to the woolly mammoth project. They're using DNA from closely related species as a template and splicing in passenger pigeon genes.
Wow. That's incredible. It would be amazing to see flocks of passenger pigeons again. But as we've been discussing, there are those ethical questions to think about, right?
Absolutely. Bringing back an extinct species could have a huge impact on the whole ecosystem. We need to think about the effects on existing plants and animals, the possibility of introducing diseases, and the welfare of the animals themselves.
It's like playing ecological Jenga. Pull out one piece and the whole tower could collapse.
That's a great way to put it. It highlights the need for careful planning, thinking about the potential consequences, and respecting the incredibly complex web of life on Earth.
So it's not just about the science. It's about making sure our actions are responsible both to the planet and to the creatures we share it with.
And that's what makes Jurassic Park such a powerful story. It reminds us that great power comes with great responsibility, and that tampering with nature can have unintended consequences, consequences we would not be able to control.
You know, it's wild how Jurassic Park can be this big, action-packed blockbuster, but it also makes you think about these deeper issues like our responsibility to nature and the limits of science.
Yeah, it really is a testament to the power of storytelling. And beyond the pure entertainment, Jurassic Park had a huge impact on how we see dinosaurs, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I remember seeing those dinosaurs on screen, like brought to life with so much detail. It wasn't just exciting, it was awe-inspiring. And not just for kids. I think it reawakened that sense of wonder in adults, too.
Definitely. And that fascination translated into real-world results. After the movie came out, there was this surge of interest in dinosaur research, and a lot more funding started flowing into paleontology.
Like the movie gave paleontology this huge boost. It was inspired by the science, and then it ended up inspiring more science. But I've also heard people say that maybe that wasn't all good.
Right, there's the argument that all the focus on de-extinction, which is still, let's face it, pretty far-fetched, might have distracted from the more urgent need to protect the species we have now.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like saying, why bother saving endangered animals when we can just bring back extinct ones later? Not a great approach.
Exactly. It raises those tricky questions about where our priorities should lie. Should we be focusing on fixing past mistakes or preventing future ones?
And Jurassic Park actually explores those questions, in a way. Throughout the series, we see what happens when humans try to control nature, to manipulate it for profit or entertainment, and it usually backfires spectacularly.
Exactly. The park itself becomes this cautionary tale. John Hammond's vision, while ambitious, fails because it just completely ignores how unpredictable nature can be.
Yeah, life finds a way, right?
And that way often involves a lot of chaos and, well, running for your life. But all that dinosaur-induced mayhem aside, Jurassic Park does spark these deeper conversations about our place in the world, about technology, about the responsibility that comes with scientific progress.
It makes you think, how far is too far? What are the ethical boundaries of science? Who gets to make those decisions?
These are questions for all of us, not just scientists.
It's like Jurassic Park isn't just about dinosaurs, it's about us. Our ambitions, our fears, and that part of us that's always looking back at the past, wondering what if.
It's a story that's still relevant today as we deal with things like gene editing, artificial intelligence, all these technologies that used to be science fiction.
So even though Jurassic Park science might be more fiction than fact, it's given us this legacy of really big questions, ethical dilemmas, and a renewed appreciation for the power and potential dangers of science.
And at its core, it's reminded us that life, in all its messy, unpredictable beauty, is something we need to marvel at and respect.
Well said. So after this deep dive into Jurassic Park, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away?
I hope they leave with a sense of wonder about the natural world, a healthy dose of curiosity, and maybe just a little bit of skepticism when it comes to the science they see in movies. And hey, maybe they'll think twice before trying to extract dinosaur DNA from a mosquito in amber.
Great advice. So we'll leave you with this. If you could bring back any extinct animal, which one would it be and why? Tell us in the comments.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and always remember, life finds a way. TCEI.